What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down Michael Gallup and his route running ability. I think he's one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL when it comes to route running, and today we're going to break down what makes him so special. And guys, if you're a wide receiver watching this and you need to improve your coverages, you need to improve your football IQ, understanding defenses so you can be on the same page as your quarterback, please check out that link in the description, guys. We get you signed up on my website where we break down 16 NFL defenses. You can learn how to read an NFL defense. All right, let's get started. So it's going to be the first route's going to be a stutter go. Now, the main thing I want to talk about here is his eyes and how he sells this thing with his eyes looking back to the quarterback, and that's ultimately what gets this DB to bite, right? Off man, eyes are on him, hips are turned, trying to force him to the sideline, okay? So he snaps it down, gives his eyes, makes that DB bite, okay? That's what we need to do every single time we work a double move, stutter go, come back and go, post corner, out and up, anything like that. We got to give the quarterback our eyes, okay? So when he breaks it down here, right, he commits his shoulders. He's acting like he's just coming out of this thing lazy, right? Eyes back to the quarterback. That's what makes this DB commit. Now, he looks back on the backfield here. He's expecting the ball. He's got to be a little bit more disciplined with his eyes because you see how his eyes are looking back to the ball, but his hips aren't all the way turned, okay? That should be a tell that this is maybe a little bit of a stutter go. This is a double move because Gallup doesn't want to get into this thing quick, right? So he's got to have a little bit more eye discipline, not looking at his eyes when he looks back to the quarterback. But receivers, that's how important it is when we give our eyes and we commit our shoulders even just a little bit back to the quarterback, back to this ball, right? And then when he makes this decision to accelerate up, he's bursting out. He's running full speed now. He does look quick here because, look, he's got him by 3 steps. When we get this DB by about 3 steps, if our quarterback understands the concept of air, if he doesn't understand the concept of air, I don't want to look late because then he's going to throw this thing right by me. I'm not going to be able to react in time, right? But Prescott understands the concept of air and throwing this thing maybe 20 yards in front of him on like a 3 ball with a ton of air to let him go run it down so he can accelerate out. He can come out fast. And you can see where Prescott throws this thing. Too many quarterbacks throw this thing on a line, right? We got to throw this thing with air, got to throw it with touch. We got to let our receivers run it down. And you need to tell your quarterbacks that, hey, throw this thing with air. Let me go run it down. I can go run it down. All I'm focused on is beating this DB if I know you're going to put it in that spot. And that's exactly what happened this time. It's a great job using your eyes, committing your shoulders, peeking back to the ball to get this DB to jump, get him to be undisciplined. Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So snaps it down, gives him his eyes, accelerates up. That's a great job by Michael Gallup. All right, so the next route is going to be a corner here off of this almost quick wide step release, takes an inside release, works to restack. The ball is a little late, obviously, but Gallup has a hell of a job working to recover and make this catch. So off the line of scrimmage here, when we take this wide step, so what this wide step is where we take our right leg, and that first step is we need to be selling vertical, okay? We need to give our eyes to the outside. We need to be violent with our shoulders because we want to make this DB think that we're just going vertical right now, okay? That's what that first step is. That first step is our dangerous step. We got to be dangerous with that first step. We got to be selling like we're just getting upfield right now. We're trying to just take this outside release and just run by him, okay? And whether you like it or not, we got to be explosive with it, okay? You might think, oh, it's just one step, he's not going to bite. But if we're explosive, we commit our eyes, we commit our shoulders, we're violent with our head and shoulders, we're going to get separation, right? So look, coming off, he's very violent. Violent here, turns his head and shoulders. You can see how violent his eyes are. His eyes are to the outside of this DB's shoulder. You can see he's leaning in this direction, right? Now he's shuffling to this direction. That's what we need to do now. He's not surprised that he beat him off of this, right? He makes that move and now he's accelerating up. Too many guys will make this move right here, this wide step, and then they pop straight up and they're not driving off of this break. That's why I say drive off this inside arch of your foot, right? When you're working drill work, you got to be pushing off that inside arch and you got to keep those toes straight forward, as you can see here, because that's what shoots you up into this route. You see how explosive he is off the line of scrimmage. I get that question a lot. How can I be more explosive off the line of scrimmage? How can I be faster off the line? Pushing off that inside arch and driving off of your outside leg is the quickest way and the best way to get more explosive off the line of scrimmage, right? So now he works up into this route. Now you can see with his off shoulder, he dips this shoulder to protect his rib cage, right? So when you dip this shoulder, when this DB tries to recover, his hands are going to be on the top of your shoulder. And all you got to do is this windshield wiper motion that we're going to talk about in the next clip as well. This windshield wiper motion, dip this shoulder and rip underneath, because that's how we work to restack this DB, right? So anytime we make a release off the line of scrimmage and we got to take that inside release, let's dip that shoulder, right? Let's initiate the contact, but let's rip through, get his hands off of us, because he's not going to be able to knock us off this platform. If we're going 100 miles an hour, we're exploding off the line of scrimmage, we're dipping that shoulder and we're ripping underneath, right? So that's exactly what he does. Now he gets back on top of him here. Now he makes this break to the corner, right? Now when we restack, obviously this DB was able to keep hands, and it's a longer developing play, so we got to get up into this route, right? The throw was late, yes, but we can't waste too much time up at the top here, because ultimately we should have that clock in our head like, okay, this is the timing of the play. This is when the ball needs to get there. I need to just get up into this route, right? So he's at the top. He just gives a little bit of a stick. Here he gives a stick when he comes to his depth. He accelerates up. Now, this is a tough throw because it's a very tight window right here. This is about maybe, I would say, probably 5 yards, maybe even less than that for Prescott to drop this thing on a dime if he throws this thing with great timing and throws it up early, right? So he ends up throwing this thing late, but this is a great testament to why you never give up on this ball. He makes this catch, or he tries to make this catch in traffic. DB's making a play on the ball, but he always is keeping his eyes on it. We're always having our eyes on the football. We're always locating the ball with our eyes. It's a great job by Gallup staying with that. You really can't coach something like that other than making sure we locate the football with our eyes, okay? But again, off the line of scrimmage, wide steps, sell like we're going vertical, violent head and shoulders because he's looking at our hips. He shouldn't be looking at our eyes, right? But we still want to commit our eyes. He's looking at our hips, he's looking at our body, and he's looking at our torso. Commit your eyes and commit your body. That's how we get him believing that we're going vertical, right? Now we dip that opposite shoulder and we rip underneath so we can restack, make a stick at the top, then burst up into your route, okay? Same idea if we were trying to run a post maybe. If we were trying to run a post, wide step, rip underneath, restack, give a stick to the outside, come back on this post. Same idea. When we restack, we can do pretty much essentially anything we want with this DB, okay? He does not want us to restack us. He does not want us to beat him vertical, but we're going to do one or the other, okay? Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. Wide step, come back underneath, rip the shoulder, get on top, stick to the corner. Not bad by Michael Gallup, and a great job staying with this ball, locating that ball with his eyes. Okay, so now here we're going to talk about how you need to work your hands throughout the route, okay? Because a lot of people just work the hands off the line of scrimmage, they hand fight, and then they're screwed at the top of the route when this DB recovers and he's able to get hands. So now we're going to talk about how to work that. So he gives kind of the slow play release, jab to the inside. You can see swatting the hands. That's that windshield wiper that I was talking about earlier, okay? That's what we need to be able to do. So he kind of takes this walk release here, kind of 1-2 jab to the inside, not too much. He knows that he's got some room to work to this outside. He needs to take an outside release on this go, and he's just got to go. Can't waste too much time on this release, right? So he gives him this jab to the inside, right? Now you see he kind of avoids contact here. He kind of runs away from it. See, when this DB's inside leverage, he wants this. See, in man coverage, I'll tell you something about man coverage, right? They want to take away the inside of the field. They want to seal this thing off with their left foot, and they want to wall us into the sideline, and they want to force us into the sideline, right? So now Gallup understands that. He just wants to get outside right now and get up into this route, okay? So this DB, again, is trying to recover. He's trying to jam with two hands and force him and wall him into the sideline. Now, Gallup knows that he's just got to get these hands off. You want to be violent with your hands. Now we're just turning and running, right? Now this DB's going to try to get hands to recover downfield. We want to do like I call it the windshield wiper with my hands, and it's essentially where you rip underneath and rip up to get his hands off, right? And that's exactly what he does. Rip underneath, rip off. Rip underneath, rip off. You want to pretend like he's got crap underneath his fingernails, and you don't want to let him touch you, because down the field like this, when we got him by about a step, because here's the thing, Gallup could threaten him with a comeback, he could threaten him with a dig, so this DB really doesn't know. Apple really doesn't know in this situation what's going to be coming, because that's why it's so important to make all of our routes look the exact same, make all of our routes look like we're running a fade, make everything look like a fade, right? So we can threaten him with this kind of thing, so he's not just overplaying this fade every single time, and then the second he does, we snap it off into a comeback or a curl or a dig or an out, whatever it may be, right? So, but again, we just got to always be fighting the hands. Work this windshield wiper, and again, you see what it does. We get a step or two of separation, and that's huge at this level. And then we're able to catch this ball over the top. That's a great job by Michael Gallup, working that windshield wiper technique off the line of scrimmage. We just got to be able, because here's the thing, he's going to jam us for sure with this left hand because he wants to wall us into the sideline. He gives two-handed jam on this side, right? We just got to be violent with my hands, got to pretend he's got crap underneath his fingernails and get his hands off of us. Let's watch it full speed one more time. So he's bursting out, get it off. Windshield wiper, accelerate up. DB doesn't know. We got to always threaten with vertical. That's how everything ties in. Okay, so this is a clip of him in college, and I just want to show you how advanced of a route runner he was even when he was in college, but also, like we were just talking about in the last clip, is how to sell vertical and how to always be a vertical threat, right? So this DB's in this catch technique here where he's about a yard or two off maybe. So he's waiting for Gallup to just get into this release and just kind of essentially catch him, quote unquote. That's why they call it a catch technique, because he's waiting for him, and then he's going to get hands and then wall him into the sideline, right? He's kind of waiting to play it. He doesn't want any part of this jam right up here in his grill. So as you can see, he turns, and Gallup just stops right on a dime, selling vertical. DB kind of slips there, but that's a great job by pushing vertical, okay? So You can see anytime a DB's kind of in this catch technique, I like a hesitation release. Okay, maybe a little bit of a hesitation and jab to the inside, or hesitation to get him on these heels to see how he's going to play it. Maybe he just stays right here and tries to jam, or comes at you off balance, all kind of disguises the jam, right? So I like this hesitation release anytime he's off like this, maybe 1 to 2 yards, right? If you don't know what a hesitation release is, please leave in the comments and I'll try to explain it a little bit better. So kind of takes this hesitation hop. Now he accelerates up into this route. Again, engaging the contact. He knows that he's going to try to get this hand on him, because the DB's job is always to get hands. They tell you all the time, get hands, get hands, get hands on this receiver. We want to be physical with this receiver, right? He's got his head down. He's committed his shoulders to the outside. He's committed to the fade, right? He's selling like he's going vertical. That's why keeping an explosive pad level is so important in route running. We don't want to lean back. We don't want to give anything away. We don't want to let this DB know that a break's coming. We want to be able to go full speed and then stop right on the dime, right? So he's going full speed, snap down, 1, 2, 3. In and out of this break, running this stop route. And again, he gets those hands off of him. He swats those hands. He's prepared with his hands. 1, 2, 3, and he's out of this break. Ball's out early. That's a really good ball here. That's what we got to be able to do. See, these DBs work transition breaks like this all the time, where they're running full speed and then they break back down. But here's the thing about them. They work those drills, and you've probably seen it all the time. And if you're a DB, and also you've probably done this all the time, you work in little 5-yard spaces, right? You work 5 yards, so you work 5 yards in a back pedal, then you burst up. You work a turn and run for 5 yards, then you burst up, right? But what happens when we get 15 yards down the field, right? What happens when we get 16 to 18, or an 18 back to 16-yard comeback, or a 12 back to 10 stop route, right? These DBs don't train like that usually. And if you're a DB and you're looking to structure your workouts, you should be training like that, because you can get out of a break faster and you can make a play on something like this, a stop route where we're 20 yards down or 12 yards downfield and we're running a stop, right? Because we work that. We work those routes, getting out of them quick, selling with an explosive pad level, dropping my hips, getting in and out, least amount of steps possible, right? They don't. So that's why it's so important that we sell vertical with a good pad level. We're in and out of this break in 3 steps or less, right? So he's coming up 1, 2, 3, in and out of the break, eyes back to the quarterback. He's coming out of this thing on this stop route. Great ball by the quarterback, good timing, okay? That's the importance of selling fade, understanding a catch technique, all right? Let's watch this thing full speed one more time. So coming out, selling vertical, good pad level, stops right on a dime. That's what we got to be able to do as receivers, guys. So go full speed, sell this fade all the time, be a vertical threat, then get in and out of our route as fast as possible. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want to improve your football IQ, please check out the link in that description, guys. Breakdowns just like this of NFL defenses, NFL coverages. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will make sure to get back to you. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys next time.